guys, it's Mel and
Rowan.
Welcome to my channel. That was Pistachio. So for this video, we are doing the Partner Chooses My To Be Read pile for the month of March. So Rowan has chosen 4 books for me to read during the month of March, and I have chosen 4 books for Rowan to read during the month of March. Or in Rowan's case, maybe a little bit longer because he doesn't read quite as often or as much as I do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get going. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. First up we have The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. It's a pretty straightforward fantasy adventure series. Basically, it just has a really fast pace to it. There's a lot of action.
Cool. Why did you choose that one for me?
So I picked this because, well, firstly, you've read a lot of my books already.
It's true.
Secondly, I know that you like fantasy, and it has a really nice setting to it. It doesn't go into a lot of detail in the setting. It's kind of it implies that there's a much bigger world than it describes, but I think it does that really nicely.
So we're going to alternate. So now it's my turn. Yeah. So the first book that I chose for Rowan is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
I've been looking forward to reading that anyway, so
that works out really well. So I chose this book because last year we watched the miniseries of Good Omens and we both really, really enjoyed it. And I did know that Rowan was keen to read it, so I thought that this might give him the impetus to do so. So I'm going to give it to Rowan. Thanks. All right, your turn.
All right, we have Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, so it's a kind of
nervous about that one.
It's a first-person psychedelic thrill ride. It has some really, I'm just going to go with mind-expanding perspectives in it. There's obviously a lot going on in the mind of Hunter S. Thompson when he wrote this, and that shows. But it's an interesting read. It's one of the many books that my sister has picked for me over the years, and they're always interesting and mind-expanding in some way. Thanks, Emily.
And I have read 2 of the books that Emily has picked for Rowan, so I've enjoyed both. Well, I enjoyed one a lot, and I found the other one incredibly weird and confusing, so we'll see how we go. So the next book that I chose for Rowan is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I know that this has been actually talked about quite a bit in BookTube recently, and there's also a Elder Ling-Along happening over the next year. So Rowan will be joining the Elder Ling-Along.
I have no idea what that means.
Basically, a bunch of booktubers and other book people are reading this trilogy and the next trilogy written by the same author in the realm of the Elderling series.
Okay.
So it's called Elder Ling-Along. So I won't go into a huge amount of detail about this book, but a high fantasy book, and it is one of my absolute favorite fantasy books and books in general. And it's the first of the trilogy, the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy of the Elderling realm series by Robin Hobb. So I picked it for Rowan because it's one of my favourites, and I'm hoping that he will like it nearly as much as me.
I think I will. It's kind of in the realm of I'll get around to reading that one day. So I guess that day is coming up this month. All right. Next for you, I have Shards of Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold. That's how I'm going with the pronunciation of that. It's an older sci-fi series. This is the first of the series. It's the only one I've read so far.
Okay.
But it's got a really interesting political struggle set in multiple planets. Has a strong romance subplot. It's got I will have a bit of a content warning on there. It does have some sexual assault and trauma themes at parts in that. A really interesting book by a little-known author, as far as I know. She hasn't done anything that's hit mainstream. But yeah, I think she's really interesting. The books are well paced.
Sounds really cool. I don't actually read a lot of sci-fi. I read a lot of fantasy, but I don't read a lot of sci-fi, so I'm excited to read some sci-fi. So the next book that I have chosen for Rowan is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. So this is a YA contemporary novel. It's been a while since I've read the book, so I might just read the cover blurb. 16-year-old Asa never intended to pursue the mystery of fugitive millionaire Russell Pickett, but there's a $100,000 reward at stake, and her best and most fearless friend, Daisy, is eager to investigate. So together they navigate the short distance and broad divides that separate them from Russell Pickett's son, Davis. And that goes on. I chose this for Rowan because I really enjoyed this book. Also because he bought this book for me for a birthday present.
I like John Green. I watch his YouTube channel.
And that was the other reason, because he watches
I haven't read any of
John
his work
Green's YouTube channel and he hasn't read any of his work, so I thought it was fitting. So there you go.
Thank you. And John, I look forward to reading this.
That's assuming a lot about John Green watching my channel.
Yeah. It's out there.
It is out there, that's true.
Cool. Last up, we have The Wandering Shaolin Monk by
Someone.
Ben Costa.
Ben Costa.
Yeah. It's a graphic novel about a wandering Shaolin monk. You expressed, when we were first going over this, an interest in reading more graphic novels, and I know that this is a bit more serious in their storytelling than the ones that I know that you've read so far. And I thought this would be a good intermediate step in that. I picked this one up at Comic-Con one year, I think, and yeah, I read it and enjoyed it, but I haven't really thought about it much since.
Okay.
But it was basically a genre pick.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Okay, and my last book for Rowan is Deadly Decisions by Kathy Reichs. So this is in a series that you can read. You don't have to read them in order. But it is about Temperance Brennan, who is what is she again?
Forensic anthropologist?
A forensic anthropologist. And yeah, so it's a murder mystery, but it's also a lot of science involved. And I've read a few of her books and I've really enjoyed them. And we both have watched Bones, the TV show that is based on these books, and we've really enjoyed them. So I thought Rowan might enjoy. I do actually have 3 other books that I am going to be reading.
It's a trap. Oh, you're going to be reading them? That's
yes.
okay then.
3 other books that I will be reading this month, because I am doing buddy reads this month as well. So I will be reading, like I said, 3 other books? No, 4 other books. So the first of those is that I'm halfway through The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, and I'm reading that book with Hayley from Hayley Reads. I'll link her channel in the description below. So I need to finish that book. And we've really, really enjoyed buddy reading with each other, so we decided that we would continue to do so. And we have selected Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this book and Brandon Sanderson in general. I've never read a Brandon Sanderson, so for some reason I decided to start with the science fiction of his that I don't tend to read as much of instead of his fantasy. But anyway, so Hayley and I will be buddy reading Skyward. Probably when we finish Queen of Nothing, we'll get straight onto that.
I'm intrigued by the cover. So
yeah, it's cool, right?
Done.
I will. I am also in the middle of reading The Power by Naomi Alderman. I've been reading this for a while. I am buddy reading with my 2 friends, Max and Rachel. But as I said when I first started buddy reading with them, they have a lot of stuff going on in their lives, so it does mean that we tend to be a lot slower in reading, which is totally fine. I'm also going to be buddy reading a book with Connor from a channel that I've totally forgotten the name of, but I will link in the description below. So he's another person that I have met through BookTube, and we're going to be buddy reading this in March, and that is Cradle and All by James Patterson. We picked this one basically because I knew that Connor really liked James Patterson. I've never read any James Patterson, and this is a book that I happen to have picked up for really cheap from a local school fair. So it sounds like that this is a bit of a paranormal murder mystery, yeah, so it sounds like it'll be quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. So that is my to be read and Rowan's to be read for the month of March, or possibly a little bit longer. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.